welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a few things I picked up at my local farm store, as well as a few things I got in the mail today. I just got in the house from picking up the mail and running a few errands, and I want to show you what I got in the mail. But first, before I do that, I want to give you a little bit of a story. Now, if you've been watching any of my videos, and hopefully you have, and if you haven't, I'm going to put an iCard up there on one of the sides of the screen for my last video. Take a look at that. If you like it, go back and watch my previous videos. I greatly appreciate that. But I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and I don't know about you, but I've had experiences where you never know whether or not a friend really feels as if you are a true friend to them. You feel like you're a friend to them, but you don't know whether or not you really are in their eyes. And a friend of mine told me a couple of days ago that he values my opinions, that he's learned a lot from me, and he's gratefully appreciative of the things that I've taught him without me knowing I was actually teaching him much of anything. He was watching me, watching how I live my life, and I had no idea he was taking notes and actually implementing some of those things in his own life. And it meant a great deal to me to hear those words. And so I say that because, drum roll, he was learning about herbs and incorporating them in his own life. And I found this book at my local farm store. Hope you guys can see that. I have the light from the window shining in. I was hoping I would be able to use that versus getting my ring light. So I picked up this book called Backyard Medicine because I've been trying to learn more about what's growing not only in the backyard, but in other places. Because again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I tend to pick up things from wherever I am. If I find that it's an interesting specimen and that I want to incorporate that into my own garden, so I tend to liberate things from all over the place. And when I saw this book, I thought, wow, I'm interested in finding out more about what's growing around me, because we overlook a lot of items that are growing around us. Like, for instance, I found a poke root on the side of the house about a year and a half ago. I had no idea what it was, and it just popped up. I guess a bird dropped a seed, and I began to read on the benefits of poke root. I began to find videos online about poke root, and I was so excited to be able to realize that there was actually a medicinal plant growing around me, and I wanted to know what else was out there. And the other thing that I picked up at the garden store or the farm store is I grow a fair amount of herbs for not only myself, but family members and some friends. And I wanted to be able to use a lot more of what I've grown, as well as other things that I didn't even think about using as a tea. And I picked up the book called Medicinal Tea, and it's amazing. And I'm not advocating for you all to go out and pick up these books. I'm just saying that if this is something that you're interested in, I found some great information in these books on how to use what I'm growing to make teas, whether I've grown them for the purpose of teas or I didn't even think about using them for teas, like raspberries. I have golden raspberries in the garden. I never thought to use raspberry leaf as a tea form, but you can. The other book that I picked up online, I had heard lots about this book, lots of really great things about this book, and I put it in my shopping cart, had left it in there for about a month or so. And as I was watching a YouTube video, a commercial came on. If y'all not watching those commercials, when my video's coming up, watch the commercials, will you please? Because I know I watch the commercials. But anyway, this commercial came up, and this lady was talking about this book. And after I saw the book, after hearing all the spiel that she had to say, I thought to myself, self, don't you have that book in your shopping cart? Lo and behold, I had the very book she was talking about in my shopping cart. What I can say about this book, you guys, is that I have loved it to death. Look at that. Can you see how it's broke down? I have been looking through all I actually looked through every page of this book already, and I've highlighted several items in here. The book that I have, that I broke down the page on, was oregano. I have oregano growing in the garden, but I have not used it to the fullest. And it talks about being able to identify oregano, the edible uses of oregano, the medicinal uses of oregano, how it boosts your immune system and is an antiviral, a natural antiviral. It talks about how it helps with skin problems, cancer, how it's heart healthy. It talks about how it stimulates your metabolism and weight loss. Y'all, how many of y'all can say, hands up, that they struggle sometimes with their metabolism and weight loss? I know I can. Y'all probably don't think so, because there's always someone says, girl, you don't have any problems. Well, we all have problems. And so stimulating the metabolism and weight loss is when I read that, I was like, ooh, let me finish reading. It talks about preventing illness or speedy recovery from illness. It talks about bronchial infections, asthma, and coughs. And I thought, wow. And there are so many more other things that it talks about, but those are just a few things that I was interested in reading up on. So that's why my book is broke down on the oregano page, because I didn't realize my oregano actually germinated and grew until I came upon it, and I thought, oh wow, I need to harvest that. So those were the books that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now, the next thing, which is what I came on here for, is the mail call. So let me get that. All right, mail call. Now, I don't know how many of you struggle with labeling the items that you are germinating in your garden and growing. I know I have a problem. I'm the first one in line. I got my ticket for it. I got a t-shirt for it. I have a problem when it comes to labeling. I prefer to direct sow. I can sow indoors, but I prefer not to do that. That just brings a whole host of issues that I'm just not interested in entertaining anymore. And so I prefer sowing outdoors. And I happened to come across a young lady who was in the UK. Her father makes all types of garden whimsical tools as well as garden tools. And one of them had to do with labels. Now, I couldn't order the stuff that they were selling from their shop because it was just a little more expensive than I was willing to invest in. But I did go to the big box store and I found something that was comparable. And oh, by the way, it was a recycled product. So let me show you what that is. I've already opened the box because I didn't want to take up too much of your time, because I already knew that my story was going to take up a minute. Now, I bought two different items, and it's slate. Can you guys see that? This is a slate tab or slate, and it comes with a little stake. And this one, you just write on it. It also comes with a pen, a chalk pen. Now, I haven't used this one. I actually didn't realize it was going to actually come with a pen. So I bought a chalk pen to be able to use it. But what you do is you write whatever you've already sown on your slate. Put your stake wherever your items are. Place your tab or your marker on the stand, and now you can actually see what you've just sown. And oh, by the way, it's not like when you put a popsicle stick or a tongue depressor in the garden, because these are wood and they're going to deteriorate after they've been sitting in wet soil for a time. The ink is going to run and you're not going to be able to understand what you wrote on there. And so I thought, okay, slate would be a better choice for me. And this is a recyclable product. I want to say they said in the description that this was from a roof that they recycled and made into tiles for the garden. And I thought that was so amazing. Now, also, and I think I got 20 of these. Like I said, I already opened up the box because I didn't want to take up your time with fiddling around with boxes. But I also picked up, let me put these out the way. I picked up another stake as well, or a stake for the garden. And it's slate as well. And I picked up, I think, 20 of these. And it looks like a little stake. And it's slate. Also, a recyclable product that came from a roof somewhere. Don't know where. But this one actually came with a piece of chalk. But I'm not sure how the chalk will fare in the garden. I've actually never used chalk in the garden. Little piece of chalk. But I'm going to use the chalk pen because I know how you get this off is with alcohol. So I'm thinking that this will last a lot longer than perhaps the actual chalk, the kind that you would use in school on the chalkboard. So I wanted to bring you guys these two items that I picked up for me in the garden to help me with labeling. I am so awful with labeling. I told myself this year in the spring that I would do better with labeling, and I did pretty good. I didn't do great, but I did pretty good. And so if you saw my last two videos, you'll notice in those videos that I use these little bitty little wooden sticks. These are actually sticks for, you know, waxing your face. But these were given to me. The person who had them didn't need them anymore because they stopped waxing their face. And I don't wax my face. So I was like, what do I want to do with these things? And I thought, oh, I could use them in the garden. But like I said, these are going to deteriorate in your garden and then they're of no use to you. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my little chat, as well as the items that I showed you, the books and the stakes that I brought up today. And until the next video, you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.